Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another freshly brewed edition of Mornings Alive with Keith and Friends. And Uncle Keith's dragging his ass today. Why is that? Oh, baby. Baby, my Winnipeg Jets lost last night, and I'm pulling some tears out of the music this morning. Yeah. I got to be honest, guys. I had words for the opener today, but I think they're just kind of coming out of my mouth as they're flying in. They're flying out because I'm a little bit, I get some brain fog after the loss last night. Yep. We're down in the series 3-1, but hey, I'm a fan. And if you're a fan, you believe. And if you're a fan, you always believe. And that's the whole joy of being a fan. When we are a fan, we believe in the impossible. When we're a fan of ourselves, we believe in the impossible. And today we're going to get into why midlife career pivots suddenly feel like cooler than sports cars, or for tiny workouts are the secret to bigger brains. And today we're going to help you cut through the noise and master priorities using the Eisenhower Matrix. But you know what? Maybe, Jimmy, I might not get that one. That seems kind of complicated this morning. Hey, we've got some center stage content coming up with an inspiring conversation featuring a military veteran who's now guiding doctors to rediscover their true purpose. Oh, I love the strings. Jimmy, don't you love the new opener? Oh, fuck do I love the new opener. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss the one coming up with Don Taylor. Hey, I hung out with Don with the tarps off this morning before the show started. Yeah, I never meet the guests before, but we hung out for a few moments and said hello. And then we're going to get into the deep dive. We're going to share why I personally chose to cut ties with some toxic friendships. And hey, I got a surprise. It's not about them. No, it's not about them. And then we're going to clean your house. And then we're going to clean your house. Then we're going to talk about a bunch of other things this morning on the show. Guys, remember, this is your morning accountability partner. We get up and get after every single day here at 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and now live over on Substack as well. And just a reminder, guys, this is an R-rated experience. So if you got kids in the room, they might be offended by something that our guest Don Taylor is going to say, or something Jon Anderson might say along the way. So I invite you guys to put the headphones in, or just teach the kids about some of the content we talk about here on the show. All right, Jimmy, let's bring in Johnny Anderson, my brother from another mother. What's shaking, Johnny? Johnny, how are you, pal? What's going on today? I'm in the medium mood today. My hockey team lost last night, brother.
Well, that's better than normal. Nor the hockey team loses. You're in a sub-medium mood. That's a step in the right direction, you know? Because you know what that is, brother? That's an outside source determining how you feel.
That's it.
Which is a motherfucker. That's a difficult thing not to let happen. You know, as human beings, we have the whole cause and effect, the whole cause and effect thing backwards. We think that we are, you know, how we feel is determined by what's happening around us. But in actuality, if we can basically control how we feel, we end up changing things around us, which then creates a vortex going the other way.
Well, you know what's fun about it too, Johnny? I talked about it earlier too. Is it's the joy of being a fan. And I don't care what you're a fan of, whether it's a sport, a business, a human. It's this idea of being a fan, right? And it's this idea of having belief. It's this idea of, and it's this idea of being a fan of yourself. Like when you're going through your careers as a bodybuilder or a wrestler or a strongman, you know, it's that self-belief, Johnny. And then as a fan, it's like having that self-belief in somebody else, right? So I enjoy fandom. I really do. I think it's fun to believe. You grow it, you know, to as much fun as it is to believe, it's also equally fun to figure out.
Is fandom a word?
Yeah, is
it really?
There you go.
Learned something new, I guess. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Fandom.
How are you? What's going on, Roof? Yeah, see you there in the comments. We got Matthew Roof joining us in the comments this morning. Lady Drew is always here today, hanging out with us as well. How was the day yesterday, Mr. Anderson? What did you accomplish yesterday, brother?
Oh man, I had a busy day.
Huh?
Goodness. It was filled, it was filled with lots of things that I kind of needed to get done. But at the same time, I really had to be careful because, you know, there's always those things that you need to do that are going to move the needle forward.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And sometimes it's easy to get distracted. So I really struggled. I did it, but I struggled with staying on point with the shit that was going to move the needle forward, because sometimes you're like, God, these other things need to be done to keep my mind, my life in that spot, you know?
Oh, it sounds like there's a learning lesson here. So let's dig into this then. So your mind was telling you one thing. So let me ask you this then. Did you find yourself being distracted by the less important and medium important tasks? And were you feeling reluctant to tackle the big ones? And I'm serious, because sometimes as humans, we're like, that's a big one. I don't know if I want to do that one. So we kind of tend to do the easier ones and then we avoid the bigger one. Was that what's happening to you yesterday? Is that what you mean?
There were more things of like, so let's put it an easier way.
Yeah.
There's things that you do to work in your business.
Yeah.
And then there's things you do to work on your business.
Yes.
And so the in the business things ended up, taking longer than expected, which then cut into the on the business time.
Ah, yes.
But keep in mind, if you can't neglect the in the business, or that's the foundation, or the business will fall apart.
It's true. Dude, what a balance those. But but it's a good conversation, because a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with getting out of being in to go into on.
Right? 100%, because the entrepreneur that just lives in, he's just created a job for himself.
Yes. And there's and the interesting thing is that unless you've gone through it, and I will speak through my own experience, you don't know that you need to get on from in unless you're doing it. And what I mean by that is that, to your point, I'm in it. I got a job and collecting a paycheck, and my father-in-law is a carpenter, and my brother-in-law is a carpenter. For the longest time, I was like, hey man, why don't you get some staff to grow this thing so you can work on it? And they always struggle with the point of getting to the point of getting the staff so that they can step back and work on the business instead of working in the business. And I find that's often with a lot of folks, right? As I'm growing this thing right now, I know there's a certain asset that I need. And I've been talking to my brain all morning. Johnny, this is a great conversation right now. My brain this morning, all morning, was, okay, I gotta pause. I gotta take some intentional pause to go and put an asset in place so I can make a step from inside the business to on the business. You know what I mean? And that's an intentional decision we have to make as entrepreneurs.
Well, you're so correct, brother. And a lot of times people don't understand it.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, when someone, let's just say someone does what we suggest in terms of they're unhappy with their job, they work on a side hustle, and that side hustle becomes a business.
Yes.
Life is so different, and they're so freaking happy with the fact that now they've created a job for themselves that they enjoy. They have more freedom with their schedule, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
A lot of times they don't realize that that's just the first step of this whole thing.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Like, you mean it gets better?
Yeah.
It gets better.
Yeah.
Holy shit, yes. You just need the proper coaching to understand the landscape and how to navigate it.
Yes. Speaking of what a great conversation we had yesterday with Scott Buell. What's up, Marty?
What's up, man? What's going on, man?
Hey, brother.
What's up, Mark? How are you, brother?
I see Scott Buell here. Good morning, Drone Legends. We had Scott Buell in the show here yesterday. What a great conversation. I really enjoyed my chat with him after the show yesterday. Buell brought the energy, man. He brought a lot of vibe, a lot of energy. And Scotty, I was looking at the Mavic 4 this morning while I was drinking my morning coffee. And if you want to buy one, I can get it here in Canada, because I know you can't get it in the US right now. Just all joking aside. But because of some crazy sanctions happening. Hey, Johnny, I found an incredible video yesterday that somebody dropped into my feed that I'm really puzzled by what the hell it's all about. And I've asked Jimmy to cue it up, and maybe Johnny, we can have a watch of it, and we can be curious together.
Is this the wrestling video you were mentioning?
Oh yeah,
yesterday?
I got that one too. Yeah, so actually we got this one first.
I thought this was some sort of a setup.
I got two setups. Thanks for the reminder. So the first setup is this one showed up yesterday, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" Jimmy, let's run it, man. I can't even introduce this thing. Jimmy, run it.
Armor. You've just spent 3 weeks raiding some poor coastal.
Oh God, this guy here, man.
And glory. You come home chest out, feeling like the man, and the entire village is burned to
Johnny
the ground.
asked what the
Your
hell
wife's
is
gone. Your neighbor's wife is
I
gone.
had no fucking clue.
And all that's left is
on.
a blood-soaked
Why?
chicken and some smoke. This is what early tribal warfare looked like.
Jimmy, let's
Losing your girl wasn't
and
just
let's
emotional.
put our brother
it was
from another mother on stage.
and personal.
Marty, Mr. Christopher Martin, what the hell is that?
Yeah,
All right, so let me tell you what's going on, man. I share this with Keith. I'm thinking, see, Keith, you put me on blast, so I got to put you on blast.
I love it.
I'm thinking Keith is gonna be like, okay, I see what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna give me some words of encouragement, man, but I guess I got to explain it.
I'm just loving it. Marty's messing around with some videos.
Basically that's an AI history channel, and it's basically centered around men fighting each other over women. So you go to another village, take their women. Go to another country, take their women. And I'm basically breaking it down.
That's the way it went. That's the way it went from the beginning of time, brother.
That's my point. So it's going to open up conversation, you know. So it's going to be like, oh yeah, men aren't.
That's the Vikings right there, brother.
Exactly. So my next video is actually going to be about the Vikings. So
well,
kind of just man.
Well, that was your video, Mart. I didn't see you pop in there. You know.
Nah, you won't see me. You see, they didn't know black guys with tattoos could do that. I didn't know we could do that.
I was waiting for the whole thing. Forgive me if it's incorrect. It's I'll tell you the truth, but I gotta go.
Well, so here's the thing, Marty. Your video was working.
Look at his head still back. That must have been pretty good. Come on.
That was perfect. That was perfect.
Jimmy,
I think I screwed up. What is the words? Did I screw up the words? Tell you the truth, but
yeah, I'm gonna tell you the truth, and I gotta go.
Yeah, that's it. I just didn't say I gotta get the fucking. We're
gonna work on it. We gotta work on it.
Jimmy,
I'm gonna tell you. There it is. I'm gonna tell you the truth, but I gotta go.
That's awesome, Jimmy. I just dropped a video. I want you to run that one here in a second. I got a video of I found Marty, I think this comes from the Banals or I'm looking for the wrestling library of New Japan Wrestling back when Johnny was
Banals. What's a Banal?
I don't know. I just made it up right now, but I found a video, Marty, that I think it's going to blow you. It blew me away. It's Jon Anderson in the ring in Japan. It's going to blow. I don't think Johnny even knows this video is made either. But Marty, I got to tell you, man, your video this morning that you made with the History Channel, it's working because it's generating conversation with us. It's working, brother.
See, you got the right idea, man.
Good morning, Holroyd. Good to see you in the comments this morning as well. We got Roofy there in the comments. We got Lady Drew. We got our friend Don Taylor hanging tight, patiently waiting for us. Well, Jimmy's queuing up the video, guys. A new 8-week study featured in a couple of publications put 42 participants in a set of 8 to 10 reps of 9 compound exercises twice a week. The exercise included squats, leg presses, chest presses, and more. The twist, half the group trained to muscle failure, and the other half didn't train to muscle failure at all. And the reality they learned was that just 30 minutes twice a week reduced early death risk by up to 20%. Now, I know it's a small study, but the point of this research study was that, and John, Marty, you guys talk about it all the time. Guys, we don't have to go to the gym for 6 hours, 4 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours. Marty?
Yeah, guys mess up all the time. Guys come up to me bragging. I'm sure Johnny has seen this too. Hey, man, I just did 3 hours. There's no way you went at a high intensity for 3 hours, right? And those are usually the guys who don't change.
Yes.
So no, but actually you can absolutely be effective in 30, 45 minutes, just depends on what you're doing and like you said, intensity and your rest breaks and your nutrition.
Yeah, the point is get going. That's really the point.
Well, here's the thing. People come to me all the time and say, oh, man, you must spend hours in the gym. And I'll say, you listen, don't think of it how many hours per day you're in the gym. Think about how many years can you go without missing a scheduled workout? Do you have the nuts to have the consistency for do this for the long haul? That's where you're focusing on the wrong shit right now. And they sit there and it's almost like a fucking dog. They'll just go.
You know what, Keith? Real quick.
Yeah.
I don't want to say who, but we had someone on the show recently.
Yeah.
I guess John had the guns out.
Yeah.
And they said to John, I don't have as much time as John has to get in the gym. And John just kind of looked like.
Well, brother, it's funny you say that because I realize that my time with overlooking the shit that I need to say to anyone, including our guests on the show, is over. So when someone fucking pulls it, and it really kind of came to that. That's a really cool cat on. I can't remember his name. Lot of great things to say. He had a great story, but he used the word "I can't" probably 30 times, and I was like, I got to get the fuck out of here. What I should have said was, hey, I just want to be, that guy that's honest with you. You're using this word "I can't." I don't think you even know you're using it. And I should have called him out, and I didn't. And after that day, I was like, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Respect.
And now when someone fucking, flops a fucking turd on the table, I fucking stick it right in their mouth.
No, we have to, Johnny. We have to.
Fuck yeah. So 100%. It's like, listen, I can't pretend. You want to come on a talk? Let's have a talk. It's all positive.
If you want to come into the den, you got to be able to take the fire in the den.
I'll add to it too. I have no issue with that.
Absolutely. Okay, so we got to have some fun here. So, Marty, I know for sure. Donnie Taylor, I know you're patiently waiting for us. We're gonna do a little video here. I got the accountability check, and we got Don Taylor joining us here in a couple minutes here. So, Marty, I never thought in my entire life Jon Anderson was this agile in this the agility and the mobility he had in the ring. Marty, was incredible.
Dude, I'm dying to see what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, I want to see what the fuck you're talking about too.
So, Jimmy, let's run this video of Jon Anderson in the ring in New Japan Wrestling.
It's got to be some sort of a joke.
Look at him go. There's Johnny right there.
That's not me, you weirdo. None of that's me.
That's Johnny in the mask, Marty. He's doing the fucking cartwheels down the hallway there.
Yo, Johnny, what are we going to do with this guy, Johnny?
I don't know. I mean, because when he said agile, I knew it was a joke because I wasn't supposed to be agile.
Hold the fucking horses. Anybody that climbs a telephone pole, like Marty, did you see this guy climbing a fucking telephone pole, Jon Anderson?
Brother, but I wasn't fucking in the ring getting paid to be a fucking big, strong guy that stands there and kicks ass. But that was my character.
I know, but the fact that I don't believe that you were an agile. So
but you're not here. I'm talking about my character.
Yes, okay.
I wasn't supposed to be agile.
Oh, you were supposed.
Oh, yeah. See that now?
I see what you mean. Yeah, that's
like you're missing the whole language of entertainment here.
Yeah.
Hey, John, he's still new to entertainment.
Oh yes, I'm still new. He's
still new to entertainment. He got to figure it out, man.
Yeah. Nope. That was not Johnny doing the cartwheels. That was not his character doing the cartwheels there in New Japan Wrestling. That was just some fun we had here. All right, okay, listen, guys, let's keep it rocking and rolling here. Let's do the accountability check-in, and then we're going to come back with Don Taylor and get to know the young man hanging out in the green and waiting for us here. All right, there it is right there. Boom, boom. All right. Would you want to be friends with yourself? That's the question. I spent years chasing that proximity, trying to get in the room, finding the right mentors, joining the right groups. And yeah, being in the right circles matters. But at some point I had to ask myself this: would the man I admire want to sit next to me? Not the version of me with the polished bio, the real me. The one who hit snooze 3 times before a high performance day, bailed on a workout for the 3rd week in a row, overpromised and forgot to follow up, and I was out there trying to connect with serious people while living like, frankly, a half-committed amateur. And that was, frankly, my mirror moment. So I stopped hunting for better people, and I started becoming one instead. And that's what I find is the difference. Those of us that are searching for other people are searching for ourselves. I ditched the snooze button. I showed up at the gym before everyone else did. I kept the small promises to myself, and I made the calendar match the ambition. Now, I'm still building, still becoming. But I know when I walk in the room, I'm not faking it. And yeah, I would want to be friends with myself today because I'm the guy who now returns the call, the guy who gets the workout in no matter what, who shows up early without saying a word about it, who owns it when he drops the ball. I'm not afraid to admit my mistakes. One thing I absolutely admire that I've learned from my buddy John has been, it's not about being right or wrong. We just want the results. When you can put that ego aside, magic happens. You don't need to be right. It doesn't matter if you're wrong. You just want the results that move everything forward. Isn't that what it's about? If you want better people, ask yourself, are you setting the standard? Because how can you expect other people to be better if you're not better yourself? So be the standard. Period. Hang on that, guys. Hang on it today as we get after it here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Dropping live 8 o'clock Eastern time right here. YouTube. Over there on LinkedIn, over there on X, and now over here on Substack as well, you guys. All right. We got somebody coming up here in the lab here who comes from the battlefield to the bedside, the military veteran guiding doctors to rediscover their purpose. What do you get when you mix a war veteran, a healthcare professor, and a coach for lost doctors? Guys, it's a man who battled on the front lines, both overseas and America's hospitals, to help others find purpose in the chaos. And Johnny, today we're joined by Donald E. Taylor, a retired military officer turned professor, coach, and leadership guru for doctors in crisis. This is interesting to me. From leading troops in Iraq to guiding physicians through personal and professional reinvention, Don's mission is simple: helping people find their why, even when the system tries to bury it. Without further ado, Jimmy, let's bring him in. Let's bring in Donnie Taylor. What's going on, Don?
Woohoo!
Yes.
Morning, guys.
What's up, Don?
We got to get you off the mute on the vertical, though, pal. We got you muted on vertical there, and there's your.
Hey, Keith, you call Jimmy Timmy.
Got me
Did
now?
I call him Timmy?
Yes.
Well, there was just the T across the J there at the top. I think you're still muted on the vertical there, Don.
Okay, well, I'm
Press the mute button, bottom left.
You just hit the tab that takes your picture wide, and then there's a mute button down the bottom left. You'll see it's red.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
I'm
actually
not seeing
met
that at
Don
all,
in the
but
green
just a
room
minute
before
here.
the show here. We had a quick little chitter get out her, and Don had the audio all working. Don's just underneath here. You'll so Jimmy, let's pull him off for a quick second while he's getting that sorted out, and we'll keep it rocking and rolling here, guys. Marty, how's the day yesterday, pal? What happened yesterday in your world?
I had a pretty good day, man. Nothing special. I dropped the YouTube video that you know, and now when you asked me my highlight of the day yesterday, now I don't have anything now because you spoiled the beans.
Okay, am I back now, dudes?
There he is.
There you go,
There
Don.
we go. Okay, thank you.
We got Don.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. How are you, brother? How are you today? Where are you joining us from today, Don?
I'm from Dallas, Texas, enjoying you all this morning. This is great. Thank you.
Oh, you're in Dallas, Texas. You're in the home of the Dallas Stars, who defeated my Winnipeg Jets last night. I didn't know you're from Dallas. I don't know if I would have had you on the show here today, actually.
Oh, well, you know how it is. But it's good.
Hey, Don, so I mentioned the green room before the show for a quick couple seconds. You said you got your morning routine already done. I got to ask the question, what is your morning routine, Don?
Well, as you get to be an old guy, you sort of have to build those routines. And after my military days, I got lazy. I just got lazy.
Yeah.
I had those routines, and then I found myself just sort of not feeling well again because my routine stopped. So my wife, who is a very organized person, said, you got to get to it. So now it's 5:30 in the morning. She wakes me up. I get on the bike and I do my weightlifting, minor stuff, not compared to what I used to do. But you know what? It wakes me up, gets me started.
It's very different when your morning routine is something that you have to do. Once you learn to want to do it, it's much more powerful. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Because in the military, I had to. It was sort of a structured thing with me, and I had to do it. And here, I find now it opens my mind a little bit. It's funny when you do this, how you think clearer. All of a sudden, thoughts become a little bit. They start a little bit faster, and they connect a little bit better. And I find myself reading some of the greatest ideas that, firstly, I think they're great ideas. We'll validate those later. But the point is, it really engages me in the morning, and I collect thoughts better.
Oh, I like that.
I just enjoy
brother,
it.
I love what you said there, because realistically, those early morning thoughts, they become things.
Yes.
That's true.
It is true. And
that's a good quote.
And I'll tell you, this is a challenge as you get older. I'm going to be 70 in 4 months.
Dude.
Good for you, brother.
Dude.
And I'm going, what is going on? Because I don't feel like I've passed anything. I feel like the best is still on the way. And it's because I'm energized, engaged, you have purpose. And that's the one I want to talk about today, is that, man, when you have a kind of a fire in the belly, you're focused, and all of a sudden everything else becomes easier.
Yeah. So Don,
can I
go ahead, Marty, please?
Can I ask Don a quick question?
Yeah.
Don, why do you think, other than lack of structure or less structure, I mean, when people get out the military, why do you think they become lazier?
I think they lose purpose. They lose that focus, that sense of mission that they had. And, and I talk about this all the time. with my folks, because when you're in the military, it's a regime. You're part of a camaraderie. You're part of a community that you're rather proud of, and you have this sense of service to something greater than you that keeps you going, makes you go the extra mile every day, makes you take risks, helps you focus. When that's gone, you look around and you go, what now?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do now? Who am I supposed to serve? Because you have served everything but yourself your entire life.
I think we find that happens with athletes as well, Don, right? I know I've spoken to enough athletes. You know, Marty's a former athlete. And, you know, we get into that situation. And it's like, okay, I was been with a team my whole life. All of a sudden on Monday here, I don't know what I'm doing. Right. It's that all that structure is gone. Right. So, but Don, I got to tell you, man, as I was watching your feed and your content on LinkedIn and what brought you into the lab here, and Marty and John, what struck me about Don is that he doesn't come across as your typical military veteran, especially striking his age. Right. He doesn't fit that gruff drill sergeant stereotype. Don, your focus is on emotional resilience and self-discovery and nurturing leadership. And I got to tell you, man, for a man of your age and that demographic, those terms don't usually fit in the same sentence, emotional resilience, self-discovery, and nurturing leadership, with the gentleman who's just chasing 60.
Yeah.
70, you mean?
I'm saying that tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? I'm saying that you don't typically put those in the same box.
No, not typically, but you know, here's kind of funny, because I grew up in, you know, and life is about transition too. You know, I was pretty self-serving most of my military career, and then Iraq, I had a pivot when I realized life is about living. It's about living. When I saw kids struggle just to live, and then I come back here and you return home and I see people whining about the pettiest crap. Oh my gosh, my contract was just cut $5 million from $25 million. Seriously, dude? What are you serving? You're a grandstander. Your life isn't at risk. Goodness sake, grow up and find out what it's about to be human again and to care for somebody and something beyond you. I get angry with it. Literally, I get angry with it. I mean, a little simple thing. Right after I returned from Iraq, and I was up here watching the development league for the NBA, and the Rio Grande Vipers were standing, and the kids during the national anthem still took their practice shots. I couldn't stand it. I emailed the owner.
Oh wow!
I emailed the owner 10 minutes after that and said, I don't know what country you're in, but these kids need to understand who created the privilege for them to play a game for their life, for career. He read the letter to them. And I even said, well, don't just read the letter. Let me come see them. You know, I'll visit them, because I just want everyone in our society to understand you have this beautiful opportunity. Serve. Just serve a little bit of something beyond you. Give a little back. And I, you know, in the military, but I'm telling you, after my tour, and I was the commander of a trauma center there, it's just, living is helping others find life. Sorry, that's just what I do. That's what I love to do. And I target physicians because they have systematically been marginalized in our system, but have the richest purpose. And that conflict, when you become misaligned with purpose, your life is miserable. We all know that. You all know that.
So, quick question, brother. I think what you're saying is great. I agree with everything. So I just want to put that on the table right out of the gate. So when you're basically doing you're doing this great work. You'd mentioned that some of the stuff like angers you, and I think you said that a few times. So clearly you were making that point. Do you think that anger serves your purpose better than maybe responding with a different emotion that could be more powerful to make a bigger change?
So I have to navigate that anger into passion.
That's what I was going to say.
I have to turn it into passion.
Yeah. Go Forgive me, brother. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no.
Hey, just taking that emotion as energy. You know what I mean? And anger or that mindset is gonna bring us to have a different series of decisions than if we have a different emotion, and different series of decisions can have even a bigger impact in your purpose.
Absolutely. And what I found is when I have these impassioned moments, I got to do something. I have to take action. And it's not aggressive. It's not anger. It's not demeaning. It's just focused action. And always, always, always take a higher ground. My point is have your message respectful, have your message targeted, and say what you really feel. And I have found that to resonate with both my audiences, with most of the audiences I talk to. And, it's interesting. We miss this today in our own society. And I look at younger, when I teach the undergrad, I call them kids, sometimes the university. I dedicate an entire class on just let's get rid of labels. Let's just go beyond that and talk about our humanity first, what we have in common rather than what we have different. That's the most popular class we have.
What's interesting, Don, to hear you said, and we're gonna do the fit tip here with Marty in just a quick second. You mentioned labels, and I know Marty has a point of view on labels, and I somewhat agree with Marty's point of view on labels that maybe, Don, maybe labels aren't a bad thing. And Marty, I'd like to share, put your point of view on the table around labels, Marty. 'Cause I know you've been very eloquent that maybe labels aren't a bad thing, Marty.
I'm gonna try to make this brief because you can go a couple directions with this. But labels can be a great thing. They can be a bad thing, right? It can be great because maybe a kid maybe didn't see someone successful at his color, or maybe someone didn't see someone successful their gender, right? So labels are great, but I don't agree with labels when it gets to the point where we're not acknowledging performance or acknowledging merit. Right. So does that make sense? So that's pretty much that's where I am on labels.
That makes sense, Don?
Yep. No, I agree. So because sometimes the label prevents us from understanding the human underneath.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I want to get
100%.
I want to get to know who you are beyond the label. Now that requires me to say there's no label.
Yes.
But it also requires you to say there's no label, so you listen or you communicate with me effectively. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I can talk when I go up from the class and I go, okay, I'm a military veteran. And I go, oh, and then I go, I'm an Iraq veteran. And people take 2 steps back. They're going, oh, he's unstable. And I'm going, oh my gosh, I've never, and here I am as an old white guy, I've never had somebody identify me in a fearful way or in a guarded way.
Interesting.
It's incredible. And all of a sudden that little light went off my head and I go, do we judge others before I even know them? Of course we do.
Well, I always say it on the show, Don. I invite everybody to come on the show and judge the book by its cover. Judge Johnny, Keith, and Marty, and then listen to us speak. Because when you listen to us speak, you recognize that the label doesn't fit with the cover.
Absolutely.
Right. So we're going to do the fit tip with Marty, and then we're going to come back and keep the conversation going with Don E. Taylor. John's going to step away for a break, and we're going to Marty, you're going to do your thing, and we're going to come back. All right, guys, let's keep it going.
All right, we got the fitness tip for today. And I want to highlight 2 things that hold you back from your fitness goals, all right? The first one, you are too accessible, right? What does that mean? So your friends, your family, your circle, they understand that when there's an event, they can count on you to be there to indulge in alcohol, indulge in the foods that you don't want to eat that don't align with your fitness goals. Not saying you can't ever have them. We talked about that yesterday. But they know that you're going to be there. And you have an inability to say no to those things, right? You're too worried about their feelings. You're too worried about how they're going to feel when you tell them no. Oh, they're going to be upset. They're going to feel some type of way. I'm going to make them feel bad. So I'm just going to go ahead and drink. Even though my trainer said not to, even though Keith, Johnny, and Marty said not to, I'm still going to do it. And this over time, every weekend, every month, some of you guys, a couple times a week, this is going to hold you back over time, right? We talked about it yesterday. And the next tip that holds you back from your fitness goals, you listen to too much propaganda, right? Now, we're not here to tell you what your body should look like. Like we're here to encourage better habits and an improved version of yourself. So you listen to the dad bod narrative, right? You listen to if your lady's listening, oh, I'm just a little bit thicker, and you might be a little bit thicker, but that's not a reason for you to neglect yourself, right? That's not a reason for you not to go to the gym, all right? Just because you might have quote unquote different genetics, if that's what you want to call it. All right. You have to evaluate your habits and take a real audit of your lifestyle and what you're doing. Right. So don't let these things hold you back. You can still become a better version of yourself, a fitter version of yourself. And we all know if you're a fitter version of yourself, it's going to affect every other area of your life positively. That's the fitness tip for today.
Up in the daily, 9:30 Eastern time. The fit tip from Christopher Martin. I love it, brother. Love it, love it, love it.
Yes, sir.
We're back with Donald D. Taylor, Iraqi veteran. Don, is that what you identify as an Iraq veteran? Is that how you identify yourself? It's interesting to hear you say it. I know you dropped that, but is that...
No. I just really identify as a guy who wants to make a difference, honestly. Those things are experiences in my life. I don't even go by, some buddies. I don't go by my rank. My wife's the only one who ever calls me the colonel. I don't go by any of those things because I really want to be seen as somebody who cared. That's really my primary purpose. And Marty, I want to tell you what you just said in your fitness discussion resonated with me because that's exactly what I do for people with their emotional and mental health. Is everybody uses the term burnout. Okay, I don't like the term burnout. I just don't like it. And then they go resilience. Well, they go, well, we want you to teach a session of doctors about resilience. And I go, resilience must just means you want them to get over your bullshit. I'm sorry, but you have to, well-being is a partnership. Resetting a culture is a partnership. You have to change. The individuals change. And then we adapt to create something different than what we have today. And I do this with a thing where I had titled well-being, now it's your being. It's customized to you. A physician's journey to improve themselves is unique to them. Just as it is for every one of us. We have our own path. We just have to build our own plan. Like you would suggest a workout plan that's unique to you because it's unique to your body, your genetics, and your needs. And I feel the same for emotional and mental health. You got to build it yourself. And we're all wired different. And I'm just sitting here and I'm sorry, John, but I can't tell you, those arms just intimidate me, man. I don't know what else to say. It's like, I'm glad I'm not in a live studio. I'd really be nervous, but
just so you know, I'll give you a big kiss before I do anything. I'm a pussy. I'm a lover, not a fighter, brother. When someone, when I was younger, people come up to me and say, "Oh, I bet I can kick your ass," and I'd say, "Okay, listen. Rule number 1, no hitting in the face." I'm a lover, not a fighter. I'll give you a kiss before I hit you.
Good morning, everybody. Got Keith, John, and our guest, Don Taylor, and of course, Christopher Martin hanging out with us here this morning. See Marty Fit and producer Jimmy here as well. Pivot, I see you there in the comments. Good morning to all of you. I wake up at 4:30 every single day, and I feel 100% motivated until 12. Then I slow down and pivot also. Yeah, and then Pivot also definitely a clean brain is in a clean, fit body. We got Fontana joining. It's good to see you, Joe Fontana, in the comments as well. And we got Roofy Roof coming in with it. All starts in the heart. Personal purpose outside of yourself is the core of uncommon kindness. Our buddy Matthew Roof delivering the business development side of the lab here these days. Thanks, Doc. Inspiring stuff. And of course, Lady Drew always joins us here with a bunch of comments here. Always self-improve both mentally and physically and enjoy life. Hey, Don, you got a book on the way. What's one idea in it that's going to surprise your readers?
The one thing I think that's going to surprise them is that I talk at the beginning about our healthcare, and this is the United States healthcare system.
Yes.
Isn't really built to create health. It's built to create more healthcare, which is good for business.
Yes.
And I'm shocked. I even spoke at a conference last week, and every healthcare system in the nation has creating health as part of their mission statement. And I go, how many of you measure it? And there's silence, because if we measured health, we created health, the business would be smaller. And there's no interest in the business being smaller, healthcare, because we have a massive problem of health in this country. And I And I believe we've become accustomed to living with chronic conditions and suboptimal health. We've just become accustomed to it. We've been taught to just accept that.
Yes.
And in doing that, it's created a monetary incentive in the system where everybody makes decent amount of money. And so it's all out of whack. You're not going to be able to get the cost right until people are healthier. So when I speak at other conferences, I'm going, we don't have a right to healthcare in this country. We have a right to health. We have a right to health. And the nation needs to invest in health, not more healthcare. And I believe if we started that with education, we started that with great nutrition, we started that with activity, for goodness sake.
The problem is there's no money in that, brother.
No, there's not. There's not yet. There's not yet. We have to create money in that, and it won't be the same amount of money as the interventional health care needs. Because I would also say that, sick people are opportunity. Sick people are opportunity for revenue. They're also opportunity for politicians. If you're sick, I can influence your vote. I can scare you into voting my way. I don't have to do anything about it, but I can scare you. And that happens every 4-year cycle. And I don't care right or left, either way. The point is, we're not getting healthier. And in doing that, we created this massive industry that profits from people living suboptimal. And then that manifests itself into an emotional element too, which is where I really live. I want people to have healthy minds. I want people to have healthy an outlook and hope and as you said, belief. I want belief that life can be better. You said that earlier about a sports team. Yeah, I'm a diehard Cowboy fan, but I give it up. I've just given up. And so I pivot to college football. So go Nittany Lions. But the point is, I think we have to do different. And it's going to be a ripple. But my most interesting chapter I wrote is AI going to heal me? AI is not going to make your life better. AI can screw it up, but you better understand who's still in charge. Because
Keith,
the AI
that had to just that I don't even have to say. I can hear the fucking hair on Keith's neck stand up.
I was just about to say that.
No, it's not making my
Come
life.
on, Keith.
It's making me
Come on, Keith.
making me
Come
more
on,
money,
Keith.
brother.
This is like somebody coming in and saying, I can't. I fucked up and didn't straighten that guy out, and your fucking turn. This is your belief.
When I speak to this, I tell you, AI also stands for authentic ignorance. And
Keith, come on, are you got? Listen, I'm just learning this. So I don't have this over the top position, but I know Keith does. So I'm waiting for him to fucking get up, put the dukes up. Or are you just going to get your ass kicked?
I just have.
He's getting his ass whooped. He's just not even. He's just on the ground in a fucking turtle getting whooped.
I'm just being respectful right now, listening to my brother have his point of view before I offer my point of view on the table. Brother, keep going while I'm listening to you. How much did AI help you write your book there, Don E. Taylor?
A little bit, a little bit. But you know what? I'll tell you what.
Maybe Donnie Taylor. I bet you used an abacus and you probably used a pencil and a piece of paper, didn't you, brother?
I did. But you know, I had to put a disclaimer at the front of the book, completely transparent with its use, because I believe it augments intelligence nicely, but it doesn't replace my intelligence. AI is knowledge without thought. That's what it is.
Yes.
And the human has to we have to create the thought. And yes. I'm a big believer in it.
I agree with that.
I don't disagree with that either. That's why when I speak with people in this industry and talk about it, that's why there's a big push. Like if kids should be learning philosophy. Like Johnny, your skill set is a skill set for the future because your thought is a skill that the AI doesn't have. Mm-hmm. Right. Yep, so a philosopher like yourself, Johnny, because all the knowledge that comes out of here is one thing. But then you wrap your philosophy around like all those teachings you have. You're like, okay, I can connect the philosophy with that knowledge, and then magic comes out of it. And that's what people are missing. Like the AI is the tool, but if you have breadth of philosophy, man, you can tie that to the knowledge. You got magic happening there.
But what if we have a future generation that has no life to create the thought using AI?
Yeah, Marty's got a hold on, Donnie. Marty's got a rock and roll here, but we're gonna keep the conversation going. Marty, you got a rock and roll here, brother.
Yeah, I do. I was just going to say, you can't be an idiot and just be a master on AI, right? So if you want to create something great on AI, you got to have the philosophy, you got to have the experience, you got to have the knowledge. So I just want to add that in before I go. So
yeah, good drop, Marty.
Good talk. Yeah. All right. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Yep.
Take care, brother.
Marty, thank you. Nice meeting you.
No problem. Nice meeting you. Absolutely.
All right. Don,
have a good night, brother.
Don, let's keep leaning into this, brother. So I want to continue with your opinion on AI. And what I like about it is that you come from a generation where, it was very much a figment of the future. Now it's here.
Yeah.
Keep leaning into it.
Yeah. So here AI is, first of all, it's almost exponentially invading our lives.
100%.
I've been directed university. I've got to find a way to incorporate AI into the classroom.
Yes.
So I'm going to have exercises where they have to put thought on top of it. It's okay. It's a tool. And I don't really disagree with its use. But here's my concern is that, and I'm going to go back to the healthcare industry where I'm very concerned, where I'm most comfortable. They use it. They're already using it. They're using it very quickly to optimize revenue or to maximize revenue because they're using it in ways to create more efficiencies that are maximizing the opportunity to create profit. But yet without complete transparency at all times. And then here's my big issue: no governance. There's no controls over it. There's no oversight of it. So like if you're using AI for a patient's care, did you tell the patient you actually used AI in as part of the process of diagnosing or treating?
I'm expecting you to.
Yeah, you need to tell me that.
No, but
there's no requirement to.
I don't want you using tools from the 1800s. I want you using the most modern tools to fix me.
Yeah. Well, do you think it's accurate? No, we've done it. And I'm telling you, AI is about 10% wrong right now on the clinical side.
But that 10% might be better than the 10% that wasn't there yesterday.
Could be. But here's where I predict. I predict in the very near future, physicians entering med school in the U.S. will be issued a bot. They'll be issued an AI bot.
Yes.
That will have all the medical knowledge known to mankind as of 5 minutes ago available to them.
Yes.
So throughout school, the bot will stay with them through all med school.
Yes.
And the bot won't be there for medical knowledge. The bot will be there to learn about you.
Yes.
To learn your habits, your traits, your thoughts, your beliefs, your values as a future physician. When you finish school, you'll be in the treatment room. Your bot will be with you, taking various shapes and forms, but the mind will always be the same. And it's evaluating the way you intervene or you relate to the patient. It will also have all the medical knowledge, again, as of a few minutes ago, available to you. It'll know the patient. It'll know the patient where they drove last night. It'll know what they bought at the grocery store last week. It will know everything the patient has done because we have all of that available, in our little lives here. Google kind of tracks that stuff and everything else we purchased. So do I need a doctor that's smart at that time, or do I need one that's empathetic?
So when you got a patient that says, yeah, I don't eat fast food. Looks like you were at McDonald's last night.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I see all the time.
From that perspective, I think that can be helpful for a doctor to actually recognize what someone's doing versus what they say, because it happens all the time, even in my business. Okay, tell me what you eat on an average day. And they'll give it to me and I'll say, okay, I can tell if I need to, I need you to write down everything you eat for the next 2 days. What they thought they were eating and what they were eating, two completely different things.
Yep. But see, isn't that now going to put another level of accountability in our lives? And responsibility for our own choices. That's the point we need. We just need to make great choices and live by our choices. Because I believe we're a series of results of our life choices.
Yes.
Unfortunately, brother, people making good choices they're not very monetizable.
I was just going to say, Johnny, that's exactly it, right? When we make great choices,
not very controllable.
That's right.
So, I mean, the system is set up to fucking put the human race right where they are.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and we have to have ourselves in. This is where I get a little. I've never been motivated by money ever. What motivates me is serving others.
Yes,
that's really what keeps me fired up. I love helping people. My greatest joy is getting an email from a kid who used to work for me back in my military days or prior and said, there was one day you said 3 words to me and it changed my life. That's the highlight of my day. That's worth. That's all it's worth. That's worth $1 million to me.
Yeah.
And I live every day hoping I can make that moment today for someone else. That's all. And I don't go out of my way to do it. I just live. And I express my values. And my values always are serving others.
Yeah. Hey, you're hanging out with Keith and Jon, and our guest, Don Taylor, this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Don, we're going to work towards wrapping it up here with a rapid fire with you. Sure. What a good conversation we've had with you this morning. Hey, Don, what's your favorite military movie, even if it's inaccurate?
Oh, gosh. Favorite military movie? Probably Deer Hunter. The chopper blades always haunted me. It was dark.
Are you a morning person or a night owl, or has that changed as you've gone through your journey in life?
It has changed. It's recently become more morning.
Yeah.
Because I'm finding my brain's fresher, and I'm exhausted by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. I'm just done and toast, but I love mornings.
I love it. And then what's one quote you live by?
Always serve others.
Oh, yeah.
Always serve others.
And if you weren't, Don Taylor, if you weren't in the healthcare or education, what would you be doing right now?
Healthcare, education. If I were younger, I'd be back in the military, serving in the medical career field. If I were others, I probably, if a different point of life, I'd probably be in politics, because I think politics needs honest people.
Awesome, Don Taylor, you got one of your veterans in the audience right now as well. You got Joe Fontana joining us, who's also a vet, well-respected vet. Joe's a solid man coming to us all the way from New York, and he's dropping. God bless you, Don. And Joseph also says that I would vote for you. My closing question, Don Taylor, big one for you, brother. If your legacy could be one sentence whispered by someone you helped, what would you want that sentence to be?
Someone said this to me not too long ago and said, my life's legacy would be what you become. That's what someone said to me the other day. He said, I want to be what you are, and I want my life to be like you've lived it. And man, I'm telling you, it gets you emotional, because I've screwed up so many times, made so many mistakes, but I'm a culmination of all of those today. And I just try to do better.
But brother, how you deal with those mistakes is what probably inspired that person to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You grew, every one of them, you grow from it. Yeah. You take a move and you pivot. You take them, and it's every day. It's an adjustment of 3 to 4 degrees, right or left. And you just kind of keep going through life and trying to find a true north. And you'll never be true north. I mean, our life is that way, but I keep trying. And
a man's character is easier to diagnose when he's behind the 8 ball, when he's overcoming adversity. And clearly that person saw you dealing with difficult situations in a way that he dreamed of doing. So brother, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
John, you know what, John, what strikes me about Don Taylor with us this morning is that at the young age of 70, it reminds me, John, that we're all always still trying to figure things out. And
never stops.
Yeah, right. And but sometimes, I think we go through life going, okay, I'm almost there, I've almost figured it out. And then you meet
those are the people right there that don't fucking get it.
I know, right? And then you meet a guy, Don, and he's like, no, man, I got my brain was foggy this morning, and I was trying this, and I'm like, but Don, but you're 70. He goes, yeah, I know, but I'm still trying to figure shit out. Like, wow. And that's awesome. Wow. That's human, Don, too. Like, that's human right there. Don, how can folks connect with you? How can folks find you? And how can folks get your book, Don Taylor?
Sure, easy. The book will come out in July, be published by Kindle Hunt, and then LinkedIn is the best way to reach me, really. Donald is www.donald-taylor.com. It just takes you right to my LinkedIn, and do that. You can send me an email at dontaylortx@gmail.com. Just reach out. I love to talk to people. I love to talk to audiences.
Yeah.
I do workshops, and I just, I do keynotes. I really want to talk about people changing their lives, and it's never, ever, ever too late.
Awesome.
Ever too late. Don,
you actually use 3 letters that I haven't heard in a long time. You can find Don Taylor at www.
Now you got my age.
It's even better if it says http // www.
But you know what? But my email's not AOL.
World Wide Web, Johnny. I'm on the World Wide Web, John. That's where I am, like Taylor, right?
Yeah.
So,
but my email's not AOL. So just make that clear.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Don, I appreciate you, man. Listen, I appreciate all the service you've done for your country, for North America. I'm a Canadian fellow, but I appreciate the service you put in. I appreciate the nugget you've dropped on the show here today for us. And in July, when you get your book, I want you to come back and knock on our door and come and do a little plug on the book.
I'd love to do it. And thank you, Keith, John. You guys were great. Thank you so much today.
Pleasure, brother.
Awesome. All right, Jimmy, let's get Don out of here. We're gonna do a lifestyle tip with Johnny. Then John, you take a break, then we'll come back to some habit stacking, brother. How's that sound?
Let's go. Let's
do it. Let's do it.
All right, check this out. Our decisions, the decision-making process that lives in our minds, has a huge determination of our futures and happy we are. It really, your decisions will mold your future. Well, here's the crazy part. Your mindset, your frame of mind has a lot to do with your decision-making process. So by putting the effort into making sure that you're in a positive mindset, your decision-making process will be that will take you into the parts of your future that you're looking forward to going into. Let's make it into I'm going to try to put this into a term or a comparison that people might understand a little easier. So we've all been in a situation where we lost something. Maybe it's this, athletics, who knows? We've all competed in something. Well, you lose, maybe it's a job, who knows? Your confidence is you feel like you got kicked in the nuts. You question yourself. Your confidence is down. So your decision-making process at that point is skewed because you're in question. Now, the flip side is when you win, your confidence goes up. You think you can do better. You want more. You can't wait to do it again. That series of decisions is going to take you into a different part of your future. So you see how much control we have of our futures. And you backtrack it, it goes to our decision-making process. And another step back from there has to do with our frame of mind. And you go back from there, has to do with what are we doing to keep ourselves in that proper state of mind. So hopefully connecting all these dots and creating this chain will help you realize how important it is that you spend a little bit of time on yourself to make sure that you stay in that state of mind that's going to help you have the future you're looking for. Rock and roll.
What's your state of mind? What's going to determine your future? You're here with Mornings Alive with Keith and Friends. We just had Don Taylor exit. We're coming up on hour 2. Johnny, you want to step away for a quick break there, brother?
Yeah, give me a piss.
All right, John's going to step away for a break, and we're going to come back. I'm going to reset Jimmy. Yeah, it's been a long time since we had the Scottish pipes in the lab, jacked up. Got to bring the energy back up and gotta pump the volume back up in the lab, you guys. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Calgary. Good morning, Jason Brophy. What's going on, Brophy? Brother, my Jets might be on the way that your Flames were. Yeah. Bad story. Pivot, I love the energy. I love having you here in the lab. Pivot, thanks for hanging out with us here this morning. Thanks for joining us here on Mornings in the Lab. And good time is right. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We get after it every single day here. 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here on LinkedIn, YouTube, and X, and now on Substack. And I like to talk with my hands all the time. We got Matthew Roof joining us here in the community as well. You guys, yes, exactly, Brophy. Go Jets, go. We got Matthew Roof. Guys, you guys want to learn about uncommon kindness? Go knock on Matthew Roof's door. Matthew's joined us here in the lab. He's leading the business development side of our company here. So we're growing the business, and Roofy's helping doing that. So guys, get in touch with Roofy. He's out there hanging out with us. Who else we got here in the comments this morning, Jimmy? Let's bring everybody up to speed on what's happening. We got Fontana hanging out as well. I always love having Fontana here, and we got Roof as well. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get a couple topics here on the table for us to get after here. We're going to talk about, in the second hour here, I want to get the habit stacks, some inbox intentions, and I want to talk right now about ending toxic relationships, whether it's friendships, whether it's girlfriends, boyfriends. It's this idea of exiting a toxic friendship. And I want to spend a few moments talking about this, you guys. How many of you have went through life with people surrounding you that you're like, I don't know if I like this person, or is it so much I like this person, but I don't know how this person is. Are they bringing the best out of me? They're bringing the worst out of me. They're bringing, are they bringing me down? Is their energy bringing me down? And sometimes we go through life with friends that, maybe they're drinking friends, maybe they're partying friends, maybe they're friends that really aren't our friends. Maybe they're friends that they're folks that we think they're our friends, but when it comes to having some deep conversations, they actually don't exist. Well, I got to tell you guys, I've gone through my journey in life. I shed some toxic friendships, and I'm sure Johnny has as well. And I'm going to get into this Johnny here in a couple moments, but it might not be the reason why you think it was. And Johnny, it wasn't so much, if I was doing a role play with you, it wasn't so much that I was shedding you as my friend because of your toxicity. What I learned in my journey, John, is that it was folks that were around me that I was bringing the worst out in myself based on the actions of the people around me. And I bring this up because I think it's too easy to put fault on somebody else when the reality was, it wasn't you, it was me. And what I mean by that is that you weren't the toxic person in our relationship. I just maybe didn't agree with, you weren't bringing the best out of me. So I had to make the decision for myself, because when I was together with you, again, in a role play situation, if we were role playing, I was the one leading us down paths. You were the one endorsing it, and it wasn't working. And it took me a few times in some friendships during my life. And as I went through my journey in life through divorce and so forth, I had to shed some friendships, Johnny, and friendships that were holding me back. I remember some friendships in college that I had that as a young man, and I reflect on it now, I reflect on, geez, those folks were holding me back, right? And you don't know it when you're in them until you get out of them. And when you get out of them, wow, is it ever refreshing. And sometimes getting out of them is ghosting. Sometimes getting out of them is just ending it cold turkey. And sometimes the person on the other end doesn't understand it. But sometimes in my experience, that is sometimes the best way to go about it, is a clear break and moving on and taking control of your own life and existence. John, can you relate to some of this? Because I know you can, brother, because I know you're about your own person, your own human, and you're all about shedding negative energy. Let's talk about this for a couple minutes, brother.
Yeah, and I just, me, I like to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to something like this, I don't want to put energy into it. I want to conserve energy.
Yes.
And so I just became really fucking good at a word that's got 2 letters. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
I became a fucking expert at saying no, to the point where, and I didn't have to go through the idea of, I'm going to shed you. I'm going to shed you. I just said no enough to create the distance that was needed.
Yes.
That person could exist. They're just over there now.
Well, and that's what I'm glad you said it that way, John, because I guess that's what I meant when I used the kind of word, the ghosting, because you're right. You say no enough times, it ends. Right. And I was
100%. I'm sorry, but to interrupt, but I'm a perfect example. So God, I'm trying to think. So way back in my early 20s, I got a little off track, it was my first business, started my first success going. Next thing you know, I'm just making dumb fucking decisions because, I've got a bunch of time. I'm getting my training done. I got fucking bunch of money in my pocket, and, spending time in strip clubs and shit like this. Anyway.
Yeah.
So from that era of my life, there was a dude who I literally had to I just had to start pushing away through no's. And, there was 30 years ago. Right. And through the different stages of my life, I watched him work on his life. And so I would use no a little less, and he'd come a little closer.
Oh,
but then, some of the old dumb shit would pop out, and I would just drop the hammer back down with no's. But I was never really explaining to him what was going on. I was just doing what was necessary for me to have the space I needed to not have, that I guess you'd say that bad influence.
Yes.
Now, just recently, we text once in a while. Like I text him on his birthday because, very loving dude, very loving dude.
Yes.
Just never got himself straightened out. Anyway, so we started to text a little bit more, right? And, Jesus Christ, through text, I'm like, fuck, here comes some of the dumb shit. So I just basically had to stop responding and he comes back with, hey, blah, blah, blah. You know who this is? Of course I know who this is. Jesus Christ. But I guess what it comes down to, what I'm really getting at is it's it's an ongoing thing.
Yes.
Never stops.
No. I had a friend, Johnny, who taught me this too, who in many ways before I met you, actually, and this is a compliment. He was like, "Why are you wasting your energy on that energy over there?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know, because I'm just a nice guy." He's like, "Yeah, but that's not adding any value in your life." Mm-hmm. And it took me some time to wrap my head around that because Johnny, you've gotten to. I believe in kindness. I love kindness. I like to be kind, and I'm all maybe naive sometimes when it comes to humanity. But I learned over a period of time that it was a bunch of small talk, negative talk, going always in a negative direction. Then I found myself that every time I left that conversation or that situation, I was just emotionally drained. But I didn't know it, John, because I was in it until I stepped outside of it. And then
100%, 100%, brother.
Right,
100%.
right. And then when I stepped outside of it, and I was like, that's not doing me any good at all. And it was this fucking aha moment, right? And that's
that fucking monkey just jumped off my back. I didn't know it was on there.
Yes. Right. And I'm saying that to you because I know there's people listening right now that are in that situation. Right. And I got to tell you, it happens in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s. I bet you even happens to Don Taylor in your 70s because you have these. It's like what do you call those? What do you call those things that hang around whales? Curl. They sit on a whale's back. They just kind of hang around you, right? It's like the monkey. It just hangs around. You don't even know it's there until you have this.
Kind of like a little leech or some sort.
Like a little leech, yeah. And then you're like, "Fuck!" You're sucking this energy. Oh, you're the reason I'm a negative son of a bitch.
Well, no, they're not the reason. No, it's not there. The reason it's just that they've basically. They're bringing an influence that you've succumbed to.
You're right. They're not. Thank you for turning the eye. They're not the reason. I got to take responsibility in that. They're not the reason. They're putting the energy out there that I'm inviting it in, and I'm accepting the energy. At some point,
the hardest part about this, brother, is that it happens to everybody. I'm trying to think of the biggest one that happened to me. And I was very lucky. It wasn't someone that was really, really close. Well, forgive me. Actually, I'm not going to mention any names, but there was one really close, and I didn't fucking realize it for my whole fucking life. But
yes,
sometimes that leech or this person we're talking about, is inside your fucking family.
Dude, I can relate to that.
And it's so difficult to have to shed or create the distance needed there.
I have to be cryptic with my words too because I relate, right? It's funny because my dad and I will talk. I'm like, "So, have you talked to?" Yeah, and how negative was that? Oh, Keith, it was like, "Oh, how long did you stay?" Not long at all. I had to get out of that conversation. But my dad, my dad's 82. He still wants to show the love and does. But it's funny because you're right. There's certain people that just suck. It's like they have 100 words and 99 of them or just nothing but negative energy. It's just I almost want to ask the person, why did you wake up today?
Well, the thing about it is it's crazy. It's science.
Yes.
So every human being is a drug addict. And what I mean by that is we get addicted to the drugs that our brain produces the most.
Yeah.
It's familiar. And so these people that are gone down this negative spiral, they've become so used to the feeling that the stress hormones give them. That's where they're comfortable. So you start talking about something positive, that's so uncomfortable. It's not familiar. So they want to go back to the familiar, which is talking about gossip or negativity and blah, blah, blah. So it's like asking an alcoholic, to not drink.
It's like the same person who chases drama, Johnny. They just chase.
Yeah, because he's addicted from a cellular level.
Yes. And it's like, okay, everything's settled. Why am I settled? I need some drama to make my emotion go up. Right. So it's crazy. We got some comments coming in from the community here, brother. Jason Brophy coming in a toxic co-parenting situation. And John, that's crazy, man. In toxic co-parenting, that is I'm grateful in my situation with my ex. It's not toxic. So Jason, I have nothing but empathy for your situation. But in a toxic co-parenting situation where I've been recently libeled to my kids, school administrators, angry, sad that my ex is making me hate being a dad sometimes. Brother, I'm sorry for that.
Well, sometimes you actually have to deal with it. Even in healthy relationships, you have to find that middle ground because not every parent has the same viewpoint on how the child should be raised.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Exactly. And Jason comes back with, I'm also physically drained. I've injured myself multiple times and currently unemployed and beginning to fray and becoming tics and negative myself and trying to shield my kids while I'm coping. Well, listen, Brophy, you come hang out with us every single morning, and I promise you, we're going to give you a dose of positive energy here Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern time here. Positive energy, as well as some habit stacking that's going to help you get after it every single day. And Johnny, I got a complicated one for you, brother, to simplify today.
Good. Hey, real quick, I got to go at 25. I don't know if I told you that.
Awesome. Okay, cool. We'll do this here.
We got plenty of time.
100%. 100%. All right. So, guys, here's where, Keith and John have introduced a new segment onto the show here. And my goal here is to work. Card and I are working on cutting these babies up and dropping them into our shorts and so forth. But we're really leaning into habit stack hacks, ways that you guys can just add a few little things through your day to have success. And this one is called inbox intention. And this one is all about email doesn't have to own you, that you can flip it in 10 seconds. Now, the role here is Keith complicates it, Johnny simplifies it. So it goes like this. So the first time you crack your email, write one priority note to yourself and put it on your monitor and stare at it. So
hold on, I made sure I understand just so I understand the terminology. What is crack your email?
Oh, so open your email. So the first time you open your email, thank you. So the first time you open your email in the day, first time you open your email is to write a one note priority you're going to get done that day. So you wake up today, you're going to open up your phone or your computer. I'm opening my inbox. The trigger is the inbox. The response is I'm going to get one thing done right now linked to that trigger. Does that make sense to you? Do you like that? Mm-hmm. It's complicated.
I know. I think the concept is there. I think the biggest issue is that. So let's just say we'll make another example. Brushing your teeth is a trigger because it's going to be over in 3 minutes.
Yes.
Open an email may just stuck someone in like some sort of a goddamn vortex.
Yes.
So it's a great trigger, but it's going to be a difficult one to actually like. So I think the idea would be to
good thinking. Maybe
turn on your computer, but don't open the email.
Oh yeah. But
once you open it, now you're sucked in. You're going like you walk up to your computer, it's sleeping. Yeah. Right. You know you're going to check your email. So the first time you go to check your email, before you open that email app, pow, that's the trigger. So you're going in, get your computer awake, pow. That's your trigger. Before you do your email, or even better, before you do your first task on your computer.
Yeah, I like that. So the trigger is before you open your email or your computer task, the first thing you do is you're going to get your first priority of the day written down and either done or moving towards getting it done. So trigger guys is email/computer, and then first task you're going to get done right away.
Because I'm not a computer guy, but like when I go to my computer, it's sleeping. So I got to put my finger on the fucking button. Finger on the button, boom, it opens up. That's the trigger. You can't take an action on the computer until you take the action with this habit stack.
Dude, I like that. I like that a lot. Yes.
Yeah. And then I think that the what was the idea for it was one thing. What? I got caught on the trigger.
It was getting one priority task you wanted to get done today right away, or writing it down and putting it as your number one thing. So you're like, okay, I got to do 3 things today. Well, the moment you get in front of your trigger, that trigger happens, you're doing that.
I like that. I like it. But let's define priority task, because priority task could be quite misunderstood.
Yes. Yes.
Priority task might be, shit, I need to check my social media.
Yeah.
No, that's not a priority task.
It's not exactly.
A priority task, let's define that. A priority task needs to be something that helps you on a personal level be better.
Yes. Maybe it's the non-negotiable, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, it could be anything. It can be, I'm gonna take a walk at break. I'm gonna do this at lunch. An action for that day that's gonna help you be a better, healthier, more thoughtful person.
I like that. So, guys, there's what it is. Your first moment of the day before you open your inbox or open your computer from sleep, that's the trigger. And then right off the bat after that, you're getting I'm going to call it your non-negotiable done that makes you better as a human being.
And it's an action.
Yep.
Don't think, oh, I'm going to sit here and think about blah, blah, blah. No. We want an action, something where you're fucking actually doing something physically.
Yes. I like that. So there you go, guys. There's our habit stack here for today. It's our third one of the week. We're working on accumulating these for you guys. And the purpose is to create triggers to do something. Right. And that's one thing I'm learning and I'm loving through hanging out with Johnny here, the habit stack, which is one thing equals another thing, which drives success. So,
well, it's so crazy, brother, because over the years, as I've worked on this, I've seen so many little things that, a trigger might open up Pandora's box, which then totally distracts the habit.
Yes.
And so it's so important to make sure that trigger is this little condensed thing that has a start and a finish.
Yes. Yep.
Because if that trigger could last an hour, now we've kind of lost the idea of it. By the time that hour is over, well, fuck, what was I supposed to do again?
Yeah. Yep. I get you. That's awesome. All right, cool, guys. Okay, so there's your habit stack hack here for this morning. Johnny, burned out at 40. There's some midlife career pivots that are becoming the new normal. I found a post on Reddit. Imagine standing behind a coffee bar, 40 years old, aching feet, emotional fatigue, no clear path forward. That was the reality of one barista whose Reddit post went viral, resonating with thousands who saw their own story in this. And I want to talk a little about midlife career pivots, not crisis, and the quiet crisis brewing among service workers in their 30s and 40s. And this isn't one band's story. It's a reflection of a generation confronting burnout, rethinking success, and navigating a changing work landscape. And the barista burnout is real. Thousands report emotional exhaustion, physical symptoms, and a lack of upward mobility. Being in your 40s and pulling your special shots isn't tough. It's often unsustainable. The point of the story was, John, is that there's this folks in their 30s and 40s that are waking up going, geez, I need to make a career pivot trend. And side hustles, boot camps, and franchising opportunities are turning into these realistic, transition routes for folks that are getting up and getting over it. Part of the problem, though, is that some of this mental health issues or things that are coming up in folks are preventing them from getting there. And as a result, there's this midlife, not crisis, pivot happening, not happening, and people are stuck. People are waking up in their 40s going, geez, where's my life gone? And I'm kind of stuck, Johnny. And I got to ask you, clients in your world are knocking on your door or people in your circle, are you hearing or seeing people like this?
I mean, I think if you take what is it? I think it's 87%. This study was done years ago, are unhappy with what they do every day.
Yes.
So even if someone is comfortable and semi likes their job, they're still not, the majority of people are not doing something that actually inspires them, that their purpose doesn't earn them any money, and generally speaking. And so I think I think there's all different levels to it.
Well, and I agree with you. And that's why I brought it up today, because of our conversation with Scott Buell, right? The guy gets to kind of the midlife career pivot and he's like, to hell with you, boss. I don't really want to do this anymore. And he took the courage and started his side hustle, his drone business, right? And you've had this conversation many times in this show, saying, "Hey, you have the time in the world to start your side hustle. Start after it, get after, start making the revenue there. Where then you're able to make the switch from your corporate job or your busy job, right? So, but it's just it's being intentional with that, because it doesn't happen by accident, and it can be done. It's going to be hard, but it can be done."
Right? Yeah. I mean, I think if you strip it all away, I think it's the individual's limited belief system that got them there, that's also holding them back from taking that step.
Yes.
And the belief was, okay, I'm going to do this rather than, do this over here, which, holy shit. And so and keep in mind, I hate to say this, but I mean, our system is kind of designed to create this limited belief system, because we become workers, we become very controllable.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? And I hate to sound like a damn conspiracy theorist, but it's the damn truth. It's like, we're in school, we're not taught about how money actually works.
No.
I mean, we're basically told We're told that buying a home is that's like the biggest thing. That's the best thing that a human can do for their retirement, blah, 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 right? Look how much you pay 3 times what that house is worth. Now, granted, you buy the timing right. There's definitely some benefit to it, but we're not taught that interest is the number one expense for a human being. We're not taught that taxes are the 1 and 2. I don't remember which, excuse me. But if we were taught all this shit, we would fight the system.
Yes. Johnny, I got the ultimate. Before you go, brother, I got something awesome. I just got a comment in the feed here. It might be the ultimate habit stack hack from Crash Out Carl. I taped a guitar chord learning poster to the outside of my shower glass door. Brother, this is awesome. Then I could study for 10 minutes each morning when I was showering. I learned I could try to maximize my time a little bit more. Crash Out Carl, that is fucking awesome. I'm having a shower anyways. I might as well stare at the glass door and study the guitar chord. Like, Johnny, as a habit stack expert, you must love that, because that's somebody maximizing.
100%, brother. That's like, that goes right next to me doing my reading on the toilet every morning.
Yeah, like that's killing 2 birds.
I'm on the toilet, man. I mean, I used to, when my meditation was shorter, I used to do my sitting in silence on the toilet. I actually worked from really amazing dumps. But then I realized that if I sat there for 30 minutes, my legs would go to sleep. So I had to switch the activity when I was on the toilet. But dude, I love the fact that you're taking time.
Yeah.
That you could actually bring value to yourself. And because when you look at time as this thing you can't get back.
Yeah.
And you look at it as this valued thing, your brain will just start to find ways to protect it and maximize it. And it just feels normal. As to where most people are like, oh my God.
You know what's
That's because they don't understand time. That's another thing we're not taught.
I know enough people that don't understand time. You know, this show has taught me a lot of value of time because as you know, with this, we do this every single day. It's easy to feel the value of time when you're on this show. But I think about Crash Out Carl. Don't think about that, right? Because we shower every single day. So 7 days a week, this guy, Crash Out Carl, I'm assuming you're a guy. You're 70 minutes ahead of the
70
dude.
minutes. Yeah.
That is not, think about that, right? So I play guitar every single day. This guy goes for a shower every single day. He's 70 minutes ahead of me every single week. Because he's just.
I have to imagine Crash Out Carl doesn't hit the snooze button, because that would offset his time in the shower.
That's incredible to me, right? So think about that. Doesn't hit the snooze button, probably. Has a shower, does his guitar. He's 70 minutes. So the story here, guys, is there's always time. Like, that's incredible to me. 70 minutes ahead.
Brother, that's what, when people say, I can't work on myself. Yeah. It's selfish.
Yeah.
No, you are fucking wasting time everywhere.
Yes.
Gather the time you're wasting, just 1 hour of the time you're wasting, and invest that in yourself, and you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
This is a perfect example of someone who is making sure that not wasting time.
Johnny. Crash Out Carl is going to let us down here. I plan an extra 30 minutes so I can hit the snooze button.
Oh, Carl. Jesus Christ, Carl. Make a decision, brother. You made a decision to save time in the fucking shower. Make a decision. Here's the thing. That's a learned behavior, brother.
Oh, yes, it is. Carl, get your ass out of bed, brother. Carl, what the hell are you doing? You just wrecked the whole segment by this.
You plan an extra 30 minutes. That's 30 more minutes that you could be investing in something else. So, Carl, I just want to be clear. You're planning to waste time.
Yeah. Well, you know what I like about that statement too? Whenever I think of myself, I'm having.
He's recanting now.
I'm just joking, Johnny. It's the same way when you said to yourself, "You're planning on wasting time." I know you got to rock and roll here. It's the same mindset I have when I think to myself, "Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm pick something random. Hey, let's go and have an ice cream." Oh, you're driving to go get fat. Right? It's like you're planning. I'm driving to the store to go buy bad groceries to make myself fat. That's essentially what you're saying to yourself when you're making that decision.
Or going to the drive-through line or so many. Oh, yeah.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah. What decisions are we making here?
Yeah. I love it. I plan. Just joking. Carl, you're awesome, man. You're awesome. All right, pal. Well, Johnny, you get after, buddy. What do you got going on today? What's on your agenda today, pal?
I actually have a big meeting this morning with my main team leader.
So, good. Yeah.
Yeah. We're just going to do a lot of, I guess you'd say it's just kind of one of those times to look at everything and make sure everything's running smooth. And if we can be more efficient, we're looking for those ways to be more efficient.
Brilliant. We got a good time coming with Pocket Meat. Yeah, good time. That is not going away here on the show. Pocket Meat will live on forever on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. All right, pal. Well, listen, you get after it. I'm going to do the community corner with Jimmy, and we're going to wrap it up today as well. We did a 3-hour show yesterday, so we're not going to go 3 hours today. It was a long one yesterday. Holy smokes. It was a big one, big audience and a big show here. So it's Wednesday for me. I'm going to get out of here, do a little bit of yoga, Johnny, and then got a bunch of work to do today myself as well.
Rock and roll, my brother. I'll have a good loop. I'll see you in the morning.
You betcha. We'll see you tomorrow. Less than 24. All right. Johnny's going to get out of here, Jim. All right, guys. You got Keith and Jimmy. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. We're getting into the community corner segment of the show. I'm going to try something here, Jimmy. I'm going to see if I can get this rolling here. There we go. There, yeah. Oh, yeah. Woo, baby. Listen to the tunes, you guys. The brand new sultry sounds of Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Here's the strings. Yeah, here we go. Boom, boom, everybody. I made the song. Yep. All right. Bottom of the hour, 9:30 Eastern Time. You're here with Keith Billis, producer Jimmy. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. We're in the community corner segment of the show here. Here comes the strings. All right. It's time for community corner, where we bring the bringest, the smartest, boldest, weirdest, or just flat out realest stuff we're seeing out there on Substack and LinkedIn. Fuck, do I ever love this song, man. Holy smokes. Ooh, Jimmy, I love it. Oh, I love it. I hope you guys love it as much as I do, because I'm going to play it a lot. All right, let's get into it. Would you let an AI roast you in public? Good time. Yes, brother. Oh, I love the fact you've been stretching, hoping to touch your toes soon. Hey, you know what, pal? Here's what I've learned. It's what I find is most incredible about touching toes is that it's probably not going to happen on the first day or the second day, but over time, you're like, oh my God, on the third day, I'm doing it. Because I could not touch my toes a few years ago. And then I just kept bending over, and then eventually I was touching my toes, and then eventually able to get my fingers underneath my toes, right? So keep getting after a good time. I love that you're sharing that with me, and I love that you're getting after it. Hey, what's up, Holroyd? Yeah, I love the tune too, pal. I'm making a soundtrack. I'm making a Mornings in the Lab soundtrack. And yes, fantastic. All right. Would you let an AI roast you in public? Well, Vin Matano posted a clip on LinkedIn that had people laughing and cringing. He built an AI to narrate his life. Yeah, true story. The simple idea, add some fun to his day-to-day, but the AI didn't just narrate, it actually roasted him. He turned a normal walk through his life into a comedy sketch. Now he's asking the question, do I let it narrate another one or retire it? Apparently, letting AI narrate our lives is a thing happening on the trends. If AI can turn your real life into content better than you, do you lean into it or do you shut it down? Yeah. Matthew Roof coming in with some Game of Thrones vibe. Bring Buell back and call the Game of Thrones. That's exactly it, brother. That's exactly it. I got more of these tunes coming up here. I'm going to weave them into the show here. I got to say, though, that, when I look at Mateo's here, it's not just about using smart tech. It's about who gets to tell your story and how much control you're willing to give up for laughs. Hey, guys, OnlyFans. Yeah. Ego, death, and the creator trade-off. Let's talk about a post that might make some people feel uncomfortable, but it's real. It's smart, and it deserves a real conversation. Anna Blake, she dropped a Substack article called OnlyFans and Perpetual Ego Death. And here's the setup. She's a writer. She's broke. She started doing OnlyFans to survive. I'm thinking about starting an OnlyFans, you guys. Yeah. It's called Tarps Off. Haha. Not for clout, not for some glamorized side hustle narrative. She needed money. And she saw OnlyFans as the path to stay afloat without quitting writing. Well, she owns that choice, but she also doesn't romanticize it. In fact, she calls it what it is, a brutal trade. She writes, to do OnlyFans, you must be ruthless, obliterate your sense of self, and she means it. Because once you step into that world, you're no longer just you. You're a product. You're a performance. An algorithmically optimized version of whatever sells. Woo, baby. Think about that one. But the kicker, she's not talking about sex work. She's talking about the internet at large and what it does to anyone trying to be seen. Hello. Hello, hello, everybody. I'm your host, and Keith Billis, trying to be seen. So here's the conversation for us, nation. How much of yourself have you already shaved off to fit the mold? Huh. This is a glass off comment for me, Jimmy. Fucking nothing. You're getting a full authentic self of me every single day. I haven't shaved off one bit of me for the mold. Because, Jimmy, I'm fucking creating the mold. Every single day, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here. I'm creating the mold of an authentic human self of Keith Billis, the guy who gets up and gets after it every single day to motivate you to get up and get after it every single day. Don't take no bullshit. Don't take no negativity. Just this positive energy to get you guys get up after it, not hit the snooze button. But what part are you keeping hidden because it doesn't perform? Get rid of it. And if visibility comes at the cost of identity, is it really worth it for you? Is it really worth it for you? It's the question you have to ask yourself. All right, next one coming up here. Patty's not having a crisis. He's having a clarity moment. Haha. Patty Galloway turned 29 and posted, Jimmy, posted, new word. It's a fucking new word, posted. Yeah, posted a notification. Galloway turned 29 and posted a reflection on LinkedIn. Yeah, he's been behind the scenes for over a decade helping YouTubers grow. Now he's building his own thing, but he said something that stuck with me. He said, I'm glad I didn't chase trends. I built my own lane. Slowly. Hey, Patty, glasses off for this one. I know what you're talking about, brother. I'm building my own lane here every single day as well. It's called Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. 8 o'clock Eastern time. The only lane around. Nobody in this lane except us. I have no complaints like you have no complaints. You got no drama, we got no drama. Patty's just a guy who stayed consistent and is finally stepping up. But here's the question for you. Would you rather be trending now or respected for the long haul? You want to get a viral hit? Are you a one-time hit wonder? Or do you think there's a sweet spot in the middle, building the foundation that lasts forever? I know the answer. All right, Jimmy, number 4, the corporate dream is cracking. Derek Hughes. No, not Derek Huff. He's busy on Dancing with the Stars. Derek Hughes posted something on Substack that a lot of people won't want to hear. I love these kind of ones. He said the traditional career path, the one with the long hours, the polished titles, to do it right and you'll be rewarded story is collapsing. It's fucking done. It's over. See you later, alligator. He tells the story of Louise, 37, sharp, driven, followed every rule. She's like, boom, 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 boom. Strategy, roles, big brands, late nights, titles. She did what she was supposed to do. Jimmy, she did it all. Now she's burned out. Now she's stuck. And now she's wondering what the hell was all that for? And no, she's not starting an OnlyFans. That's the other guy. But Louise isn't rare. Derek looks around and says, this is everywhere. People waking up in their 30s and their 40s realizing that the ladder they've been climbing is propped up against the wrong motherfucking wall. And you know what? He's right. Yeah, he's right, man. The system changed. The rules don't work anymore. They don't work anymore. AI is coming in and taking everybody's jobs. Everybody's like, what the fuck? Where's AI? Now the question is, are you adapting? Or are you still waiting for the old path to deliver something it never will? That's the world you want to be in? I don't know. All right, next up, here's the most honest nutrition advice on LinkedIn. I got it for you guys. It's coming in from Alex Gilbrand. Alex dropped a post that cuts through all the diet noise. Her secret to staying on track when eating out. Her secret to staying on track. Jimmy, I got distracted when I saw the words eating out in front of me here. It might be a favorite pastime of Uncle Keith's. I absolutely fucking don't, says Alex Gilbrand. She picks what she wants and she eats it. If she wants dessert, she gets it. Then she moves on. No guilt, no overcompensating, no punishment, workouts. She doesn't spiral. She just gets back to normal. And that's the post. That's the lesson. Guys, discipline is not about perfection. No, it's not about turning one meal into a meltdown. But what's your opinion? Do you agree with her approach? Or do you think that kind of mindset sets people up to sabotage their goals? longevity isn't sexy. It's repetitive. What the hell music is that? I got a different kind of. Oh, I see. That's the problem there. I see. Okay, there we go. All right. Let's see here. Coming back up with another one here, Jimmy. We got longevity isn't sexy. It's repetitive. And we have over on Substack, Eric Topple. Eric laid out what actually works if you want to age well. And if you're tuning into the show, like me, with me, yeah, you want to age well. Yeah, true story. No gimmicks, no breakthroughs, just this. Here's how it works. Roofie, lift heavy things. Just pick them up. Lift up those fucking heavy things possible. Sleep well. Keep your brain active. Stop doing the stuff you already know is wrecking you. Frankly, it's quite simple. Jimmy, it's simple as hell, and it's fucking boring. That's why most people ignore it, because they're looking for the shiny object, the sexy, fun stuff. But if you want to be strong at 80, you don't need hacks. You need discipline. What are you doing daily to make sure you age well? Let me know. Share your tips in the comments. That is the Community Corner. And if you want to be featured in the Community Corner, I invite you. Tag us. Tag us on LinkedIn. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Hey, what's shaking, Uncle Keith? And we might just feature your content in this segment of the show and bring the light on you. Speaking of the light, Jimmy. Let's get to the Creator Spotlight, where we actually take the Mornings in the Lab spotlight and shine it on the human over there. Good time. Get that water hydration in, brother. How much water are you drinking on a daily basis? Good time. I'm curious. How much water are you crushing? All right, we got somebody coming up in the Creator Spotlight on the Substack side of things. Might be related to Robert Downey Jr. Just might be. But I didn't drop his name. Just teasing you with it. I'm just teasing you with the fact that we might have a superstar. Because if you're serious about rock, metal, or punk, you might need more than press releases and social media hype. You might need real numbers. You might need real context. And someone who actually knows what they're looking at. That's what this creator delivers. He's not another loud voice like Uncle Keith over here with hot takes. Nope. He's a journalist and an industry insider. Ginger Jesus, what is shaking? Good to see you, Ginger Jesus, in the comments. Love to have you in the comments, Ginger. Ginger, dude, you're back. Love to have you there. Good time, almost a gallon. Good job, brother. I love that. Keep that water in, keep touching your toes, and I can't wait to hear that story when it's happening for you. Roofie, nothing that grows super fast lasts. It's true, man. Authentic, long game is the way. Don't be a one-hit wonder. Don't be a Rick Astley. No, or that's not the plan here at all. But let's get back to our Creator Spotlight here in Substack. We got a journalist and industry insider who's been in the game for decades. He's written for MTV, he's written for Billboard, and he's written for The Hollywood Reporter. He's managed artists, but he hasn't managed Uncle Keith yet. No, he understands the culture because he's lived it. His name is Jimmy. Hold on. And his Substack, Dream and Destroy, is where the data meets the scene. This morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends wants to introduce you to our new friend who we're celebrating today, which is Ryan J. Downey. Yep. He's got a Substack. Stream and Destroy is where the data meets the science. He tracks streaming, ticket sales, chart positions, and social trends. But more importantly, he explains what it all means for the people who actually need to understand it. It's fast, it's sharp, it's trusted by managers, promoters, labels, and fans who are serious about this world. So I invite you to check out the Stream and Destroy Substack by Ryan J. Downey. If you want more than surface level takes, if you care about what's really happening in heavy music, this is your weekly briefing. Check him out. Follow Ryan and subscribe to Stream and Destroy. Roofie, go follow Ryan, brother. We got to go knock on Ryan's door. Oh, speaking of, Ryan, we're going to come knock on your door like we are right now. We're going to put some content on. We're going to tag you in it. And Roofie, we're going to surprise this guy. Yeah, we're going to surprise him. Jimmy, we're going to surprise him. We're going to say, hey, Ryan. You're going to say, who the fuck is that guy? Hey, I'm Keith Billis. Yeah, I'm the host of Mornings Live with Keith and Friends. Yeah, we'd love to have you on the show. We'd love to give you the old Creator Spotlight. Jimmy, I got to get a light so I can hand it to somebody kind of virtual on the show here. Maybe I can use this light. We're going to give you a light. We're going to give you the light there, brother. so you can shine it on somebody in your community, in your orbit. Yeah, true story. So that we can celebrate them here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. So we got a seat here for you, brother. Come on and hang out with us. Yeah. Ryan J. Downey, Stream and Destroy on Substack. Celebrating you on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Okay, Jimmy, let's go to the next one. Yeah, let's go to the next one here. We're going to celebrate here, guys. Moving over to LinkedIn. Putting my reading glasses back on. You guys don't know. These are actually my reading glasses. You know that I speak with only a little, just good time. I speak with just a smidgen of sarcasm. Can you tell? Ginger Jesus, like only a smidgen, like just a smidgen of sarcasm sometimes. Jimmy knows. Matthew Roof knows. Just some sarcasm every now and then. It's the Canadian side of me. I got this unique position where I can be Canadian, I can be sarcastic, I can be an asshole, but I'm always still kind because I'm Canadian. I'm better than the Swiss. All right, you built the business. You have built the business. But then you're saying to yourself, so why does taking one afternoon off still make you feel guilty? The team's good, revenue's up, your schedule is full of the right things, back-to-back meetings, strategy calls, team syncs, even time blocked for rest. Who does that? Ginger Jesus, you're a sarcastic hole. Yeah, that's a good term. I haven't heard of that one before. That's a good one. You're a sarcastic hole. That's awesome. You know what's funny, Jimmy, is that we threw Ginger Jesus under the bus last week when he was on the show here. I'm going to assume it's a he. And I said to Ginger, dude, you're throwing me under the bus. I'm going to throw you under the bus. And what I love about Ginger is that we invited him back and he's back because he knows how we play here. Ginger, we play. Brother, we play. We're all about goodness. We're all about good times. Speaking of good time. And all about having some fun. So you throw me, I throw you, and we get after it every single day. And you know what? I appreciate you because here's the frank reality, Ginger. You have your time. You can go spend it elsewhere. But you're choosing to spend it here. And that's pretty fucking cool. And I mean that really sincerely as a human being. You're spending it here with me, and that's awesome. I appreciate that. But listen, let's keep it rolling with our creator right now. And no, Ginger, that wasn't being sarcastic. That was being, brother. That was being sincere. I appreciate you hanging out. I appreciate the super chat last week, and I appreciate that you're coming back. And hey, tell your friends. Yeah, you did. Yeah, I threw you first. You did throw me first. But I think where I gained your respect. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you threw me under the bus, you trolled me a little bit, and I had some fun with you. And you're like, oh, this guy's actually an asshole, but I kind of like this guy. He might be kind of a douchebag, but I kind of like this guy. Because I bet you're kind of like, maybe I'm a little bit like you. And you're like, oh, I'm kind of a douchebag too in this guy. So I'm kind of okay. Right, Ginger? I know you, Ginger. We're kind of probably from the same cloth. We're probably both sarcastic holes, right, Ginger? I just know you are. Let's keep it going here, Jimmy. Let's keep it going with our creator spotlight here on the LinkedIn side of things. Your schedule is full of all the right things. Back-to-back meetings, strategy calls, team syncs, even time blocked for rest, but it still doesn't feel like it's fulfilling or it's sustainable. You can't relax without checking your Slack. You second guess your simple decisions. Even when you're off, your mind is still on. You're just buzzing. You're not burned out. Not yet. No, but you're always on the edge. And something inside knows this pace can't last. It's a pattern this creator has seen, and he's helped leaders break it countless times. He's coached founders of teams of 20 or more, created custom meditations used by hundreds around the world, taught thousands how to lead without losing themselves. Jimmy, his name is Leighton Do It. Leighton, what a shaking. I help founders break free from survival-driven leadership. Leighton's a performance coach for the quietly overwhelmed, and he is the creator of the Focus Formula. Of course he is. It's a guide for leaders who want clarity, want calm, and want control again. Leighton blends neuroscience, yogic practice, and identity work to help clients get back to what matters through alignment. If you build something powerful but feel like you've lost yourself in the process, I invite you to follow Leighton. He'll help you get back to who you were meant to be. Yeah, Leighton Do It. The creator of the Focus Formula on LinkedIn. Leighton, here's how it works, brother. Where's my light, Jimmy? I'm getting a better light, Leighton, but I want to give you this light so you can shine it on somebody. So you can shine it on somebody in your orbit so we can celebrate them here on the Community Corner, the Creator Spotlight that drops every day, 9:30 Eastern Time. On Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Yeah, producer Jimmy, producer Melissa, Matthew Roof, Jon Anderson, C. Marty Fit, and tons of fucking guests every day from all over the planet. Woo! Well, Jimmy, I promised us it would be a 60 to 75 minute show today. Yeah. Maybe 90. I can see that I'm good at telling time. Just looking at the comments over here to see if we have anything that I've missed, as always. All right, I guess not. So, I'm going to move some buttons around. Jimmy, moving some buttons around. I'm going to this button over here, this one over here. That was the one, yeah. All right, well, it's time for us to blow this popsicle stand and get back after it tomorrow. So, guys, thanks for joining me today on the show. Good time, Ginger, Roofy, Lady Drew, Fontana. Who else we got there in the comments this morning? Crasho Carl, get back in the shower and get that guitar playing for me. Brophy, I appreciate you, man. And Brophy, I appreciate your vulnerability. I appreciate you sharing what you shared, and come back and join us tomorrow. I know life's tough. I know life is tough in the situation that you're in. It's tough being libeled. It's tough being beaten down every single day. It's tough being trolled by bullshit. Come join us in the morning, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. What's that, 2 o'clock in the morning in Calgary? All joking aside. Come hang out with us. Come get a dose of positivity. You're invited here, brother. And if you need to talk on a one-on-one level, I got an invitation for you. Come knock on my door on LinkedIn. Come send me a text and let's have a chat. If I can help bring you forward, that's what I'd love to do. All right, on behalf of everybody who showed up today, I'm going to get out of here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock right here. LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. See you guys. Jimmy, let's get out of here, pal.